Hi everybody, it's Trisha. So I just wanted to make this video. I have my perfect day written out and I kind of write out my basic what I am every day. And I just wanted to expand on my vision a little bit and share with you this fabulous model that I have. I've blogged about it and talked about it a bit before, but I just wanted to expand on the details of what I want to create. I have some land and I want to turn it into this awesome farm that will include all types of animals and greenhouses and gardens producing organic food the old fashioned way and serving it in a restaurant. Um, and a whole resort actually, and having a franchise of these resorts. And I'd like to partner with Rachel Ray. Um, I'd like her to help us with the recipes and the menu for each of these franchises. And I want to call the restaurant Rachel Ray's Rock and Roll Restaurant. And I first started out with calling my place the Rock and Roll Ranch. And then I thought, okay, well, if we're going to add a restaurant and a resort, that just fits in perfect. Rock and roll restaurant, rock and roll ranch, rock and roll resort. But I want to have Rachel Ray Rock and Roll Restaurant because I just think she's a genius. And I'd love to partner with her on this. But in the meantime, I'm just going to get it going on my own here. So what my plan is to have a big greenhouse and gardens full of produce and animals of all kinds to supply this restaurant. I did a little bit of research on this and I found out that I believe it's 40% of the overhead in a restaurant is the food, purchasing the food, and also something like 60% of the cost of the food, or maybe it was a little bit less, but a large percentage of the cost of the food is for the transport to get it from the farms to the restaurants. So I want to build this all organic farm that supplies a restaurant. And I tell people, I say I need um, a butcher, a baker, and a cheese maker, and a beekeeper. But yeah, so I want to set this all up, and you have a butcher right on site, and I wanted to they talk a lot about the 100-mile diet. I want to do like a 1 mile diet where all within the radius of this resort and restaurant is food production going on. And I started off wanting to have horses and do horseback riding and trail riding and have I thought about this idea for weddings on horseback and getting like a carriage like they have at Disneyland, and I got a couple beautiful horses to pull this carriage. And I thought, well, if you're gonna have wedding events out there, and you'll want to have your own catering outfit to cater those. And then it just evolved into this huge restaurant and resort and this whole deal. I want to have little cabins for rental, and then maybe like a larger spa type hotel kind of thing closer connected to the restaurant, and the little cabins would be more over by my house and where the barn's gonna be. Yeah, so you could have school groups come out and they can tour the farm facility and go for a horseback ride and have lunch. People that come in from the highway, because I'm right on one of the second largest highways in all of Canada is where my property is. So it's a big 4-lane highway. I want to have my own overpass that goes to my resort and restaurant, have truck drivers be able to come and eat with us, and families, when they come to eat, their little kids will be able to go and pet the chickens and the cows that supply the eggs that go in the pancakes and the milk that goes in their cereal once they're inside the restaurant. Have like kind of a petting zoo set up, and then like a fully operational, functional, old-fashioned kind of farm. I'd like to have it without tractors and use all workhorses to accomplish the tasks that need to be accomplished. I get, we may have some equipment come in for like bigger jobs and stuff necessity, but for the most part, I'd like to use all animal power to run the farm and keep it very, very green and without pollution. And I think people out there are crying for this kind of thing because it's really difficult for people to access good, affordable food. Like it seems like the foods that are less healthy for us a lot of times are more accessible as far as expense goes. But um so I'm just like super excited to be able to share this vision with people, and it's just expanding. But I want to have like elk and bison because they're native to the area where my farm's located. I want to have like cows and for milk and for meat, and just have like the freshest, most healthy possible food that you could. And then I've already picked out my first franchisee location. It's near us. My place here in Alberta is near Elk Island Park, which was actually our first national park in Canada that was developed to protect the dwindling bison herds. And so I'm close to that um, um, attraction where I'm at. And so the second location that I've picked out, I was lucky enough to travel to Dallas, Texas, and I really love the Texas culture. And so I also traveled to Mexico, and I really love the Mexican culture. And so I decided that the second location for Rachel Ray's Rock and Roll Restaurant and my Rock and Roll Ranch and Resort will be near a place called Boca Chica State Park, and I want to have it right on the Gulf Coast. And so that restaurant's going to have a totally, completely different menu because there you'll be able to bring in fresh seafood out of the Gulf, and just have more different local, like the longhorn steers and stuff for hamburgers and steaks that will be served in the restaurant. And so from there, for sure, Thailand, somewhere in Thailand, I want to have the same model with their local produce and stuff served in a restaurant in the same fashion, just like a completely duplicatable franchise model. And like in Thailand, maybe instead of doing horseback riding like I'm doing here in Alberta, and probably and for sure in Texas, in Thailand maybe there would be elephant rides instead, because that's their local um, animal population. So, and then all over the world, I want to open up these restaurants and resorts, and each one I want to also have like a deli kind of counter where the meats and cheeses that we use to serve to the customers can also be purchased, and produce be purchased and taken home to enjoy there. And so it's like a huge investment that's going to be required to bring this to life. But I really think it's going to be extremely profitable, and I'm just really excited to speak the vision to you, and just trying to think of more details that I can add. Well, I want to have my place here in Alberta a barn, and in Texas I'll of course have a barn too. And I also want to have like veterinarians on site and trained people that can have as part of giving back from our profitable business that we're creating, giving back by having animal rescue on site. So our vet with the amount of livestock and stuff that I want to have to supply this restaurant, you need a full-time veterinarian there. And then in between maintaining those animals, any neglected or abused animals will be welcomed to their own area where they can get respite and any kind of treatment and stuff that they need to bring them back to health and save them. So animal rescue is going to be like a huge part of the whole resort experience. When people tour and stuff the facility, they'll be able to visit animals that may be in bad condition, and then be able to go on the internet, and after they've gone home, and follow up and see the progress that we make with taking care of the rescue animals. And so there's going to be a huge assortment of all kinds of critters running around the place. But as in regards to the initial plans for this wedding business, I'm going to call that end of it fairy tale weddings, and I have beautiful horses that I've already am purchasing or have purchased to be able to pull a carriage, and also at other times they can provide other work functions around the farm, cultivating and stuff, our produce gardens. And so yeah, the the horses, I just have images of, I've been planning to do this for parades too, of doing their manes up and putting like flowers in their manes and like whatever color scheme a bride or is suitable for a parade, and just making sure that they shine and glisten and that their hooves are polished and then they just look beautiful and amazing, and like they already are so beautiful, but once you like get them all groomed and add accessories and just make them look beautiful, it'll just make any girl's like dream wedding that much more special. And I want to have like a huge gazebo kind of thing where they can perform ceremonies, and then also have another beautiful altar within the banquet hall that I have planned, kind of either right near the barn or actually connected as part of the barn. This banquet hall will have like an altar and kind of beautiful area where ceremony can be performed in case of rain, or if somebody's having a winter wedding, or whatever conditions might arise that require an indoor ceremony. And then I had this like really crazy idea for these raised flower beds. My grandmother had a couple of beautiful raised flower beds in her yard that I always loved. And they were just, I think she had one that was kind of a crescent shape and a round, just a round one, but they were rocks that built up a little wall around, and then they brought in soil and planted flowers up above, like the grassy area. It was so beautiful that I was inspired that, oh, hey, I want to do that. But I'm like, I've got a huge passion for music too. And so, hence Rock and Roll Ranch. I'm like a rock and roll chick. Rock star chick, right? So, uh, so definitely as part of the banquet hall, there'll be a great PA system and equipment for music, and we can play, or they can hire in a band, and or we have tons of friends that are super talented that can perform for weddings and stuff, and no DJs allowed, sorry, but this is our rock and roll ranch. We got to have live music at your wedding. You can play canned music, but there's got to be some live music there too. So that's going to be a requirement if you want to get married there. You either have to find a band that you love to come and play, or we can supply you with one. There won't be any DJs. I kind of have issues with DJs, but so that's another story. But so I'm just like trying to give you like all the details here and really speak my vision clearly. So so I want to have these raised flower beds like my grandmother had. And when I first came up with the idea, I was like, oh, I can do them and I can make shapes. And so initially I was like, oh, well, I want like the musical note, like treble clef shape flower bed. And then I actually, when the wedding idea evolved, it was like, oh, well, have this huge raised garden and maybe angle it so it'll work really beautiful for pictures, and have the musical notes that spell out the wedding march, like the da 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 da, and then people can have their pictures taken there. And like when some musician, like educated musician, comes along and sees that, it's going to be like, oh wow, that's like an amazing picture. And just having the horses being able to have pictures, and my carriage, it's going to be like blinged out. I really want to have like the Cinderella type carriage, but just like covered in Swarovski crystals and just like sparkling, like blindingly amazing. So when that, when the bride steps out of that carriage, man, everyone's like can't even see her because they're all blinded by this It's not until she steps into the sunshine that you actually get that full effect. I just think it's going to be amazing. People are really going to love it. I love it, and it doesn't even exist yet, but I'm like totally, totally infatuated and in love with this whole business that I have planned. And music is also going to play a huge role in the restaurant. Rachel Ray's Rock and Roll Restaurant is going to have a lot of live music. So I think maybe during breakfast we'll have like jukebox hits and stuff playing. But at lunchtime and my perfect day, I go and I eat, and a little bit earlier, and then me and my friends sit down and we have a jam session, and it starts at noon, and everyone's welcome, and we'll play for sure from noon till 1, and then if there's anybody available or willing, they'll continue to play all day. And then in the evening, um, we'll have a feature band and like open up a lounge kind of dance hall area, kind of like along with the restaurant. And then if there's like people want to have special events at the restaurant, we can open that up, and they can have their own music, whatever kind they want there, and maybe have the ability to bring out more tables and accommodate more people for events and stuff like that there. And then for super big events, we'll move over to where the barn is, and the actual banquet hall will just make it huge. But it'll be very kind of like I went to this place in Dallas called Gillies. It's just this huge, amazing. I want our banquet hall to be like kind of like that, with like separate areas, so people that don't want to be like bombarded with rock and roll music can like go to an area that's like quieter and be able to just like sit and talk, and all the like rockers, or uh, country line dancers or square dancers or whatever kind of, like, I like country music a lot too. Any kind of music will be very welcome, but it must be live. And same within the restaurant, we can have a little bit of canned music, but we want to provide live entertainment as frequently as possible. And like during the day, we'll like play a little quieter and maybe play more of the country style music, and then later on in the evening we'll get into the rock and roll scene. And really rip it up for everybody. And with so many talented friends that, like, I know my one friend, he's like just got this amazing band and everything, but they struggle as musicians. It's a struggle as a musician. It's a very small percentage of performers that actually get to make money. That's really worth talking about. So for the rest of them, it's like a passion and like a labor of love. So a lot of my one friend, like I said, is like really talented and amazing as a musician, but just hasn't been able to gain traction at the moment. He's totally got this like massive green thumb where he can grow anything, and so definitely I'll have him out there, and he can water plants and take care of plants and weed, and take care of the greenhouse and help and have a staff below him that takes care of the gardens. And then he can do that in the morning, and then once the afternoon rolls around, then he can come and play music with us, and we can pay him to be there and to do that, and to be able to follow two of his passions at the same time, and just make him have a perfect day like the rest of us. And I have like some really exciting plans for staff quarters. I want to offer staff quarters in the kind of spa resort area with suites where staff can stay there if they choose. And also I want to have staff quarters in the barn, as part of the barn, have like a bunch of, I worked at Icefield and had the Columbia Icefield, and they had this amazing staff quarters because they had 100 people that, like, the Icefield shuts down all winter long. Nobody's there. They like turn off the water, the gas, everything gets turned off, and nobody can go live there during that time because the mountain area just becomes impassable when the snow really hits, because it's a glacier, right? But in the summertime they open it all up, and so people are all living there temporarily. They had this amazing staff quarters where you had a main area that you all kind of shared, that had like foosball and pool tables and ice cream anytime and a sandwich bar anytime, and then regular meals served by cooks and stuff in this kind of mess hall thing. And but the quarters, which I want to have in my barn, it was like two really nice rooms, a closet, desk, bed, like comfortable, and then an attached bathroom. So you just had to share your bathroom with like one other person, and then you had your own private kind of room space. So something like that for more of the seasonal staff or the like um, new coming staff, and then for more of the managerial positions within the organization, I want to have like more suites. Like I'll need a vet and a barn manager, and they I want to provide them with like fairly, like an apartment type accommodation that's really comfortable for them and stuff. And same with like some of the managers, as far as the restaurant and the rest of the farm go, I want to have really nice like suites and maybe cabins even that they get to use and stay in. Like the cabins, if initially the staff will probably stay there, and then later on we'll when we start getting customers that are renting the cabins to stay in, then we'll maybe get more elaborate and a little bit nicer staff quarters going for the people that are working there. It's like really exciting words. I'm just like really want to speak all the detail of all the aspects of what this huge endeavor that I think is going to duplicate itself all over the planet is all going to include. And yeah, it'll be when I locate a place in Thailand to open up my third franchise, it'll be like a totally different feel. So it's going to be like duplicatable, but in a completely new way. Like when you will go to the rock and roll restaurant, resort, and ranch in, well, I guess it wouldn't be a ranch, I don't know, but the location in Thailand, when you go there, it'll be a completely different feel, completely different menu, but the same standard of local and fresh and highest quality of ingredients going into every aspect, like from the music all the way to the decor to like every little detail, just like um totally like attended to, and so that you know that you're going to get that experience, but each location it's going to be a completely different experience, but it's still going to have that same core feel and integrity to it, but the actual like look and sound and smell of the place would be completely different, right? So in Thailand you'd have like local musicians there, and they have different kinds of instruments that they might play in different locations, and have like the local people talent there coming to work to serve. And I think the beautiful part of that is that the musicians can be able to contribute to the profitability of the franchise by helping out with farm tours and stuff like that, and then also be contributing with their passion by playing music and just really loving life. Like there's going to be all kinds of like activities and tasks that will need to be carried out that will require greater amounts of people. And so um we can just like all pitch in and lend a hand, and then rock out the rest of the day and and like be following our passion, but at the same time be making money contributing to like the local culture and the local health and wellness, and just having this place that's like wonderful to go and afford, and making it affordable. Like really in this kind of restaurant scenario that I'm talking about, you could charge a premium price for the freshness and quality of the food and the actual experience of being able to see like where the food is coming from, and being able to maybe have like a window into the butcher's workspace or the cheesemaker's workspace and see the artisanship that, or the baker's workspace, and see the artisanship that's going into producing the food. And like you can charge a premium price to provide that kind of experience and flavor and stuff to people. But I think that we'll be able to charge less money than a lot of fancy restaurants, because we we have that cost of food production, but we're cutting out the middleman, and we don't have to pay the transportation, and we don't have to pay for packaging and stuff like that. Like when people buy the stuff to take it home, they'll, yeah, be packaging it. But when you go to pick greens for a certain salad that you're making that day, like you wash it, and there's no reason to put it in a plastic bag, and it's not going anywhere. It's going onto the right from the greenhouse or the garden to the table. So it's just this amazing experience. And so because you're cutting out those middlemen and that extra cost, you can charge less money for better quality food, which is just kind of unheard of. But there's a lot of roadblocks and struggles and things that are going to come up. I know whenever you try to embark on something like this, there's a huge amount of failing forward, where you have all these setbacks and stuff. But if you, as long as you keep moving forward, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because I know that there's going to be insurance issues and health inspector issues, and oh, you're having your animals like right outside the building, or maybe like, I don't know. But we're going to work through all of those details and issues, and whatever cleanliness procedures and safety procedures and everything that the governments of whatever country that we happen to be working in require. We're just going to um, put everything into just making it happen and following all of their guidelines and rules, and making changes and adjusting and conforming to whatever requirements are put in front of us, like insurance and stuff, to have kids having access to animals like that. Like you're gonna, especially like the actual horseback riding, you need some pretty heavy duty insurance to be able to do those things. So we're going to proceed and go through all of those stumbling blocks and just make it happen. And it's just super exciting to share with people what this vision is. And now I have, just by making this video, I have accountability to actually make it happen. And even for my own self, I have like more clarity every time that I speak about what I want, and I get more ideas of how to improve on this concept. And every time I speak it, I have accountability to like, hey, I'm telling you right now that this is what we're doing. And I'm looking for people that are interested in helping do it. And that now that I've said this is what I'm doing, now I have a responsibility to do the things that are required to do it, to prove to everyone out there that I'm going to make it happen. And I am. Like um, years ago, I didn't have a place to live of my own. I was a renter, and I never really saw myself being able to be anything but a renter, really, as a single mom, and a low income job that I had. Like I always worked and had money for things, but I didn't really see myself owning much of anything, really. But we went and purchased 80 acres, me and my business partner, and I went and got the horses that I wanted to have out there. And like when we started, it was, I wanted horses, and it wasn't, it wasn't really a conceivable thing. That And when the money was available, it was like, well, in order to have horses, we should spend this money on land. So we bought this land, and there was no money for horses. So it took a couple years before I went and got the horses that were the motivation behind getting the land in the first place. And then I've just um, uh, been working with horses, and where I work, there's also cattle. And my mentor has this, like, he's a billionaire. He's a farmer with all this land, and he does things the traditional way. He plants his crops and sprays them in his tractors and combines and stuff. And I want to have like a kind of a different model. I wanted to use animals, not tractors. And like it's not the efficient way to produce food, but it's, you know, my horses are going to provide fertilizer um, for the farm, by working. And um, where I work, the horses provide fertilizer for the farm too, but um, they're not being used. So the farm does emits a lot of exhaust through all the tractor work and combines and stuff that are out in the field. And then don't even get me started about the chemicals that they hire planes to spray and da 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 da, and that they put on to kill bugs and weeds. And like it's efficient, and that's like what's all the goal and the hype, and it's like where the money is. But I think people are coming around to the fact that what's efficient is not desirable when it causes damage. So when you start to see all this like air pollution going up from all these different farms, the old way of using horses to cultivate the land, it's healthier. It's not it's not more profitable, but it's healthier. And I think that it can be profitable because people are willing to pay anything for health, especially when they lose it. Like when you're out of health, that's when you're desperate and willing to pay anything for good healthy food. But more and more people, I think, are starting to come to the realization that it's a lot smarter to um, do preventative management and just have healthy food now before you get sick and avoid that trauma and discomfort. So I think that's where I'll leave it for now. I think I've rambled on for quite a while, but yeah, so I'm just like super excited about what the future holds, because I know that I'm moving forward and I'm taking steps, and I have a mentor that is a successful farmer, and he's going to he's already provided me with invaluable information about livestock and farming and feeding, and I'm just every day learning more and new things. But of course, being my crazy creative self, I'm not about to go and duplicate what he's doing. I'm there absorbing what he does, and I'm going to take the best aspects of how he operates his farm and implement them to mine, and then create my own ideas and ways of managing a farm based on healthy lifestyle and healthy environment with organically grown food and horse cultivated crops, and just providing the highest quality, healthiest, freshest food for people. Is I'm super, super passionate about it. And I meet a lot of other people that are really passionate about it. And I just, I see them struggle like with organic restaurants that have opened in our local city and stuff and then went bankrupt. It's people feel it and they want it, but the affordability issue comes into play so much. It's way, way, way more affordable to eat the junk food. And so I think with this idea and this model that I have, like when suddenly a farm isn't paying $1,000 a month for diesel, instead you're paying maybe $100 a month for to feed horses, or even, and then maybe $1,000 a month to um, pay for people. I don't know. Well, with a tractor, you got to pay for somebody to drive the tractor too, or do it yourself. So I don't know. I think that in the long run, it's you won't get as much production out of the horses maybe, but I think the food will be better. Because you know you're not. A lot of these combines and tractors are out there leaking oil and antifreeze as they go. Not not a lot, but you know, there's always little things with machines that they're just really evasive as far as the environment goes. Any machines that go anywhere, whether it's our cars or big digging machines especially, or tractors and combines and stuff, they're evasive on the face of the planet. And I just feel that horses have much lighter footsteps, and I'm just like think it's fascinating, and that people will be fascinated and really supportive of this idea, because it's a beautiful thing to be able to have fresh, organically grown food where you know that there's been no exhaust put out and damaging equipment running over the landscape. It's just a it makes me feel so good. I just want to explode with gratefulness for even the ability to just step back into some of our ancestors' ways of doing things and see how that can just um, create a better and brighter future for people. Because I think that the kind of rat race that has developed with the boom in population and the growth of cities and stuff has really taken people away from our ancestors' connection to the land and the environment that we live in. And I think that people everywhere, especially in cities, are empty and aching because they've lost that connection, and they don't even really know that they're missing that in their lives, because a lot of people will grow up their whole lives in cities, and they'll they never get the opportunity to go and be around animals and see where our food really comes from. And I just think that this whole idea is just a huge opportunity for education and just improvement in the general society's ideas about how food is produced, and how it nourishes our bodies, and how that connection to the natural world is so important to our spiritual and emotional health. And people that are lacking that, I believe they go through life feeling they're missing something, and I think some of them never really know what that is. And when you get out into the natural environment and just see the abundance of like birds, like for example, like it just blows me away that I can go driving down a country road and then there's like 1,000 birds on this power line that all float up as I'm driving by, and it's just like, wow, look at all those birds. Like it's just amazing the amount of abundance there is in the natural world, and you can't really visit a beautiful garden and not feel that gratitude for the abundance that exists. But when you're in a city and it's like the concrete jungle, and the way that our society has moved away from the natural world, um, you don't, you can really easily lull yourself into that lack mentality, that because there's not that beauty around you and you don't get to experience that. So I'm just really excited to have this vision to be able to create that experience for people um of the natural world and of food production, the old simple way, where you're hands on with the animals and you don't have all these machines bringing in crops, and you don't have like machines milking cows. You have like actual people like that are hands on, that are, because I think that you get this like, I don't know, when you touch an animal there's like this like, I don't know, it's, if you've ever like just petting a cat or a dog, like if you've ever experienced that and the amount of joy that that can give you, just the feel of that fur and that warmness of that body, and that look of kind of appreciation and adoration that you get from an animal like that. It's just, I think it's a really important thing in life that some people miss out on, and I just hope that I can bring that to more people in the world. So thanks for listening to my rant. Subscribe to my channel. and follow me on this journey as I am making this happen. I'm bringing this amazing business model to the world, and I'm just really excited to share it. And I look forward to someday having you come and sit down in my restaurant and have a delicious meal and just feel the abundance and the gratitude for everything life has to offer. And maybe I've even inspired you to imagine your own perfect day. And for you, it's going to be something else. Like, I'm super passionate about animals, and making sure that they're humanely treated when humans use them for whatever purpose. And for you, you might be really passionate about like sick children, or um, um, people that are lacking water in the world. And like, I care about all those things too. And I'm sure that like, uh, in addition to the animal rescue, that we'll be able to sponsor other kind of charities, and just be like, I plan on this business being extremely profitable. So there's going to be an abundance of uh, abundance of surplus food that we can be able to donate to local food banks and stuff. There's going to be an abundance of profits that we can um, maybe use to help bring similar food experience into city areas where people can access it more easily. But it's just, there's a starting point, and then there's no finish. Like, as long as you're still here, there's no finish. When you have a vision and an idea for this, like, it just keeps expanding. And once you're like, oh, I've reached that goal, um, your mind expands and opens up all new possibilities. And what you initially envision, like me, I just initially envisioned, having horses to ride on an acreage. And um my now that I have that, my vision has expanded to it initially expanded to giving that experience to other people by offering trail rides, and now it's expanded to this whole huge business model that 5 or 10 years ago wasn't even on my radar screen. So I just want to encourage you to really take a look at what you're passionate about in life and create a vision like this, and just start taking steps towards it. Like, I in no way have anywhere near the resources that I require to make this a reality, but I think just by speaking it to you and writing it for myself each day, that this is what I'm doing. Like, step by step by step, I found a mentor. I got more horses. I got more ideas. I seen something, I heard something that is just added to the vision, and step by step by step, I am making it happen. And it's just that initial first step. And a big part of how I've come to understand what my vision really is and be able to speak it to you so hopefully clearly now, is that this training that I've been doing, that's been really focused on personal development. And so I just want to close this off by saying thanks for watching, and subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in this training that I refer to, that's helped me clarify my vision, you can click the link below, and it's only $25 to find out what it's all about. So I just encourage you to consider the possibilities and take a look for yourself. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel and follow me on this journey as I build this amazing business. Make it a great day. If I don't see you in the future, I'll see you in the pasture.